Good morning, and welcome into the stream. As it is Wednesday, November 5th, and we have a lot to jump into today. A lot of different plays, a lot of different bets, a lot of different slips, strategies. So much to get into as we really have arrived here at the best time of the sports betting year with college basketball and its regular season now kicked off, and the NBA, college football, and the NFL is here. This is that special time of the year that you wait for the entire year where everything is going on all at once. And so there are so many wonderful betting opportunities. Really, really excited to get into it. So let's jump in, as always. Make sure I minimize my screen here. No, wrong screen. There we go. Bam. Okay. So let's jump into this thing. And what's going on? Joshua, Christopher, what's going on? GJ, I know Ramo, what's going on? Saints fan, what's going on, brother? Everybody so far, welcome in. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's kind of take a look at some PrizePicks 3-man, see what we have going on. Shared a PrizePicks entry on X yesterday. Zion didn't play. It was a 5-pick slip, but we cashed. So we hit 4 for 4, which was great. Using the Josh Giddey taco. So let's see what we have today. Today, if we're looking at some minimum data points, I definitely want to continue to use the sharp money tool with the optimizer, kind of a hybrid, if you will. And so we have some various combos. Now, at this time in the morning, it's too early. Pinnacle doesn't release their lines for player props. But and I don't put too much stock into BetMGM's odds, but to see that FanDuel, and this is wildly off here on Bam and Joker. Okay, so I don't mind that one. Then Isaiah Stewart and Keontae George, not good at DraftKings or MGM, but it's very good to Caesars and FanDuel. And yeah, I can get behind this one for sure. So we got a couple combo plays right now for the NBA tonight that we can take a look on. See what's what. Bam and Joker. Got to move quick, though. Even though it's early in the morning, we got to move quick. Yeah, this already bumped to 45.5. So many plays just bump automatically. What about Keontae George, Isaiah Stewart? This is still out there at the time being. So this under right here. See what else we have. Nah, I don't really like that. Jarris Walker, Michael Porter Jr. All right. These are all unders here tonight, so these two are there. Cool. And then let's go over the sharp money tool, and I want to do a quick search. Let me clear out the books. Let's pull up PrizePicks. Let's pull up Underdog. Let's pull up Pick 6. Let's go better. Let's do 3 picks. All right, cool. What do we have? Anything? Markets, player props, yeah. Let's clear out this. What do we have? Looking for a PrizePicks. Okay, Cameron Johnson. Somebody wants us at -120. We can get it at -122. That's okay. Same with Cat. Got a lot. If I wanted to put together a 5-pick entry, I could definitely do that. This Cat play, it's only $700. So I don't like that one as much. Cam Johnson, it's at least $1,400. So I'm going to go, even though it's a slightly worse price, guys, 2 cents, I'm not losing sleep over. We're going to take Cam Johnson over on his points. Should have maybe typed in, I forgot, there's a couple NBA players. Last name Johnson. Sorry, points and rebounds. My bad. Okay. 3-pick entry here with no insurance. I'm going to share this one with you guys. Bingo. Dang. Chat is popping right now. What's going on? Morning, good morning, Nito. Good morning, Irish. 49ers faithful. What's going on, brother? Bryce, yeah, didn't work out on Demidov. Did work out for Wyatt Johnston. And also, guys, a quick recap as we just sharing some DFS slips. First day in the books on the Dub Club Premium All Access package. We went up just under 1 unit yesterday. So it was, I think, 0.89 units. So not a massive winning day, not a massive losing day. A slight day in the green where you won almost 1 unit. So first day in the books in the green. Not as profitable as I wanted it to be, but still happy that we finished in the green for sure. So gave out 17 plays yesterday on Dub Club. And haven't given out any plays yet for today's card, but going to be working on that after the stream. No doubt about that. Mostly straight wagers, guys. Basically, it's all straight wagers, I would say. I will mix in a parlay here or there, for sure over there. I'd like to mix in a couple parlays for my parlay bettors. Maybe put in a long shot parlay. Try to provide a little bit of everything over there to have some fun. But again, guys, a lot of OGs, DGens know this, but mentioned this yesterday, launched the Dub Club. So it's I'm running a sale from now until Friday. Free 3-day trial. So you get 3 days for free and then 20% off your 1 month purchase. It's $19.99. So you're going to get 20% off of that. If you want to check it out, here you go. Luis. Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Nita said, yeah, it's first when I started following a year ago when I started this full-time hobby. There you go, man. There you go. Always appreciate that, man. Yeah, I'm in Old Town, Scottsdale, which is pretty big. It's obviously a big tourist town. Second biggest bachelorette destination out there. So if you guys are looking to throw a bachelor party, I know Nashville's normally the spot. Honestly, I'd come to Scottsdale because there's a lot of bachelorette parties here. And even if you're getting married, you want to at least hook up all your buddies, right? I mean, that's what it's all about. So everybody wins when you come out here. And this time of the year, it's absolutely incredible. But Airbnb prices go up insane here in Scottsdale. I think yesterday it was about 79, 80 degrees, very low humidity. Maybe it was like in the low 80s. It's unreal right now. So we're looking at Wemby here, rebounds and assists. Okay, this Wemby plays okay. What else do we got? We talked about Michael Porter Jr. Yeah, I like Michael Porter Jr. No doubt. Let's see. Where's my? I was on the wrong thing. I was on the drafts page. All right, see if we can hurry up and grab Michael Porter. Yeah, they already bumped that. That's at 28.5 now, so we don't want that. One other thing that I really enjoy about the Sharp Money tool compared to the optimizer, it just seems like plays don't bump nearly as fast on the Sharp Money tool. Just not nearly as fast. So we're going to target one specific category here, guys. 3-pick entry coming over here from Underdog. All of these are points, rebounds, and assists. Chi-Town, brother, I saw that, and I really, really appreciate, first and foremost, the support. But I'm very excited. And hopefully, and that's where I can kind of ask you, right? Ask you, Chi-Town, the plays that I gave out on the card, and obviously anyone that is watching the stream right now that is a part of the Dub Club, check out that 3-pick entry, guys, on Underdog, no insurance. Were the plays attainable for you to get, right? We had the over in the Thunder, first half over in the Thunder Clippers game. We had the first quarter over in the Pelicans Hornets game. We were very hot on NBA yesterday, extremely hot. I went 5 of 6 on the player props. Hit on Giannis under on his points. We hit on Royce O'Neal under. We hit on the under on Dyson Daniel steals. We hit only went 1 for 2 1 for 2 when it comes to college hoops. But to give you guys an idea of what you will receive, right? So here's the player props. This would be the card that it looks like, just to kind of give you guys an idea of what it is on Dub Club. So this is from yesterday. I provide some notes in terms of, sticking to certain odds recommendations, what units we're playing for, give an example of what that is, and then I give out the plays. I tell you where we're playing this at, what odds range, what sports book that you can get this at. But I also tell you that you can play it to a certain odds range. And like on this Giannis play on his under 30.5 points, I said you could play it on Props Builder, but it's available on FanDuel, DraftKings, ESPN Bet. You could play it to minus 110, right? So we had a great day yesterday, especially this Jimmy Butler play. Love you, Jimmy, but appreciate you sitting out the entire second half on your under. That was fantastic. So Quentin Grimes was the only play that we lost on this play yesterday. But just curious to hear from you, Chi-Town, if you were able to grab all of the plays, right? So those were our NBA player prop plays. I give out regular plays as well. And then just also provide a daily recap, right? So the daily recap here, guys, is just something that I like to do. Daily recap went 9-8, up a little bit, and then I kind of provide this, right? So you're going to see that it's similar to what you get with most Dub Club, except that I'm using a positive EV approach. So just to kind of showcase there what we have going on. There's a lot, by the way, with Underdog right now. Underdog's pretty decent. All right, so let's kind of go with a few more. So let's go with this 4.5. This could be kind of clutch here on the over 4.5 first quarter points. Yeah, they already bumped this to 5.5, so that's toast. Let's refresh this. And outside of that, I will say the last thing with Dub Club, it's not just the promo that I'm running right now, guys, but I do have various seasonal packages. You want to pay for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. You want to pay for the year. You want to pay for lifetime. You want to pay just for the NBA season, just for college basketball season, just for the NHL, just for the NFL. I offer various different packages, so you're not just there's not just like one thing that you can choose from in terms of what you want to pay for. So some various different things there. So we're on the Sabonis, Castle, and Derek White play. Ramo, not yet, man. Not yet. We're getting there. I was kind of pleasantly surprised with what we had on Underdog. Let's look at Reeves. Again, guys, when we're betting these plays this early in the morning, we are not factoring in any injury news whatsoever. Jovic, somebody wants this at minus 117. Getting this on a 3-pick entry, it is a bit of a big deal when it comes to a price discrepancy. Here we go. Keyshawn George. Love that. And the beautiful thing it depends if you're a DFS player. Now that I live in Arizona, because this time last year I was living in Pennsylvania. Now that I live in Arizona, I have access to a ton of DFS books. And yeah, this is a little low on the liquidity side, to be very fair, for Duncan Robinson. And it's going to be the same here for McDaniels. But I'll throw one on here. This is a little, I don't know how I feel about this one, but Duncan Robinson, we'll try this one out. Looks like they bumped the Austin Reeves play. Of course they bumped the Austin Reeves play. Why would they keep it? But now that I live in Arizona, we definitely have more time to go through these plays. And we're looking at under on points for McDaniels. All right, we're going to try this one out here. I'll share this one with you guys as well. Yeah, Chi-Town, it's a great point. If you pay for the 1-year package, it costs you 15 cents a day. So, good point. Definitely an option that I wanted to make very affordable to a lot of people. And so, excited about that. Excited about the different options that you have, right? So, speaking of better, and Ramo was asking about better, yes, we're going to use the Sharp Money tool here at the moment. Looks like we got a Joker. I don't know about you guys. I have a Joker discount for his PRA. Over 44.5, so compared to 48.5, so we definitely want to take advantage of that. And then we're back on Trey. Over 2.5 threes, like that. Cam Thomas on his assists. Someone wants us at minus 136 for about $900. So we'll give this one. This will be a 3-pick slip. No insurance. Over 3.5 assists. There we go. All right, perfect play. Obviously, I can play this for $10. This is the Joker discount, guys. So make sure that you include that. And there's better. Yeah, we're if you haven't seen, we're getting there. We got through PrizePicks, we got through Underdog, we're going through better. We still have to get through Dabble and Pick 6. So we're making our way over there to the rest of the DFS books. If you haven't seen your DFS book yet, we will get there momentarily. Looking to see if we have anything else with Neesmith, Cat. Okay. Yeah, I like this. Now this is a little bit lower liquidity, but still we're still talking over $500 right now at the morning. So we're looking at Cat over on his rebounds. Cool. What's the Neesmith play? Again, guys, with better on 5-pick slips with insurance, you can get this at minus 121. I'm getting this at minus 118. So there's a combination here, but people really want his over. And this is just using the sharp money tool, believing that, there's some sharp bettors out there that want this for higher than what the limits are from most of these sports books. A little low for my taste down here when we get to this part. So let's go over to better. Let's see if we can cap off this 3-pick slip at minus 122 odds. Okay, Derek White. Ooh, yeah, we talked about Cam. So they agree here. I can see this. FanDuel definitely agrees with this play with Cam Thomas. What else do we have? PJ Washington, under 3 assists. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. It's a flat number. So we're looking at PJ. All right, this is going to be a perfect entry as well. Okay, so 2 different slips over here on better. Nino says, patience is a virtue, no doubt about that. Both UD bump. Yeah, for sure. Nino says, I used your anytime goal score settings on OJ, played Kucherov on a $200 no-sweat promo on Fanatics in the cash. It was a nice hit, and it's only fair I show my appreciation and joy. Oh, well, Nino, I appreciate that, man. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, we had on the Dub Club last night, we had Chris Kreider to score, which was awesome. Take a look at Dabble. We'll look at 3-pick slips on Dabble, and let's throw in some minimum data points. Let's go 3 minimum data points. Okay, so a lot of great value on Dabble. So I'll kind of pause here. For anyone that's looking to play some slips on Dabble, I will say that I would play Nick Claxton. I'd play Russell. I'd play Jaime Jaquez. I would play Bridges. Let's go through maybe plays that I wouldn't play. I would literally play all of these on the screen right now. So I'll kind of pause for a moment. So, appreciate that, guys. Yeah, the anytime the goal scores have been going well, and hit on a couple last night, a couple ones we didn't. I was kind of disappointed. Martin Netchus, we didn't score with him. If I were to play that Leon play on the stream yesterday, that was low percentage. Leon scored as well in the Stars-Oilers game, but is what it is. But yes, I think you guys will find you'll have a great time with anytime goal scorers. And, we're going to get ready for Thursday Night Football coming up tomorrow. And if FanDuel's running that bonus program, the $2 million bonus bets, we've hit 2 of the 3 last weeks with Jonnu Smith and with Rashad Bateman. So looking to extend that. And that's one of my favorite things that I like to do is then take that bonus bet that we win and throw it on a long shot. If you receive a no sweat promo, guys, put it on. If it's $5-10, put it on an anytime goal scorer, and cash that plus 200, cash a plus 150 or a plus 350, and have some fun that way. So for Dabble, those would be some of the guys that I would go after. And if we refresh this really quickly, some plays might have bumped. Pretty much in Dabble, guys, it would be my number one DFS book that if I could just have no limits to, it would be Dabble. You can crush Dabble when it comes to DFS. Obviously, it's all parlay-based, guys. You're going to see variance, right? Want to make sure we set some realistic expectations. But But, there's definitely this where you're going to have some losing streaks, even with playing 3-leg parlays. But you're going to have a pretty good time in general. DraftKings pick 6. Again, as you guys have noticed, kind of a common theme. I like to stick to 3-pick entries. Though yesterday we put together the Taco Tuesday slip with Giddy. Worked out pretty well for us. So maybe I'll get back into some 5 picks. Using the sharp money tool. So yeah, we gotta run, sprint to pick 6. Quentin Grimes, love it. Ja, I'm in on that. I like that one. Evan Mobley, fine with that. Try to go with 3 different guys on 3 different teams. So let's do pick 6. Get there. Okay, I'm going to share this one with you guys. Go. Dabble in AZ. No, it's not, Luis. It's not, fortunately. DraftKings pick 6. We went with Quentin Grimes under PRA. They're at 26.5. FanDuel's at 24.5. Hell, MGM is an easy book. They got this at 25.5. We took John Morant over PRA. Again, the bar is too low, 32.5. Books have it either 33 or 34.5. We took the under on Mobley at 34.5, where the books are. Again, so all these are very common theme. If we're taking an under, that's because the under is too high on pick 6 compared to the rest of the books. So we get a little extra cushion. Morant, the bar's just set too low. It's a low bar for us to clear compared to the rest of the sports books. So that's how it goes when it comes to playing pick 6. So I'm excited about that one. There we go. And then let's refresh this. And let's refresh this page. And what else do we have? We're looking at Shaedon Sharpe. He is questionable, but we'll see. The over 17.5 points, I like that a lot. By the way, claim your boost. Should have realized this. There's an NBA and NHL boost. We were going to go with NBA. Even though the boost is higher on the NHL, guys, there's going to be more options to pick from to bet when it comes to the NBA. I'm okay if you want to go with the NHL, but the truth of the matter is there's just more betting options when betting on the NBA. So we're going with Shaedon Sharpe. Siakam's PRA, this is okay. It's okay. 39.5. Yeah, the bar's set a little on the low side. I'll take that one as well. So we'll take the over here on his PRA. And then Edgecombe's gone. So we got these 3 dudes. We got Sharpe. Jaden McDaniels, FanDuel doesn't have anything set for. Jalen on his under. Yeah, I mean, I don't always like betting Jalen on his under. It's either Jalen or Edgecombe, but I'll go with Jalen. It's under 36.5. And I'm guessing with this boost, I got to play a 4-pick entry. Don't really like it, but I'll share this one with you guys as well. So, okay. Share this, and there we go. All right, a couple pick 6 entries as well. For anyone that's using Owner's Box, I know we're taking about the first 25 minutes of this stream is a lot of DFS. Any Owner's Box? Yeah, here we go. So if anyone uses Owner's Box, not sure if anyone out there does, 3-pick slips is really your most optimal, other than 6. And so this is what we want to attack. Shepard, very good. George, very good. And Genty, yeah, compared to Pinnacle, I'm like this. I like these first 3 plays. Really, really good. Really solid. Okay, let's move on over to the arbitrage tool. And let's see. So one thing that I haven't done, guys, this year is we see a lot of these risky bets. But to be honest, if you know the players on these teams, if you watch a lot of football, Champions League, you can make some really good money, right? So I normally will set my odds. We can set the percentage up. But if, the reason that these are risky bets is just basically if the player doesn't play. But as you can see, like for pregame for this guy at 1 p.m. today, this is a really big arb between Props Builder and Bet Rivers, any Canby Sportsbook. So it's player shots on target. I don't always showcase these from time to time, but this is a really, really good play here for Champions League. Skunky, what's going on, man? Que pasa? So check that out as well, right? And it's something that I definitely want to get back into. I want to bet some more soccer anytime goal scores. So I might have to obviously that it's risky bets, turn them on just so that we can get access to those because I think there's a lot of value there. And I've bet them in years past. I really enjoy betting anytime goal scores, especially on FanDuel. Love going after FanDuel for anytime goal scores. So I mentioned this before with arbitrage betting, guys. More books that you have, more money that you can make. Day trade the sports books. If you have time later in the day today to arbitrage bet, then I would advise not going after these player props for account health purposes. Your accounts in your names will last longer if you are utilizing this, betting these NBA player props closer to when the games start. I don't know how many casual sports bettors that are wagering an under on DeAndre Ayton on his assists at this time of the day. So just keep that in mind when you are doing this, right? Unless you can find some arbs between two exchanges. If you can find a ProfitX and no vig arb, okay. Like I'm interested in that. Or a props builder and a ProfitX or a props builder and no vig, that's where I can get behind this. But for the most part, you see so many NBA player props, but the games don't start till later. Again, I don't know the players or the characters on the soccer clubs very well, so I don't know if this guy's going to start or not. It's always just risky because if he doesn't start and he comes off the bench, he gets subbed into like the 88th minute, then this bet is still, alive. It might get alive and well on DraftKings, but it's going to get refunded to you on Props Builder because he didn't start. So just remember that for sure. Appreciate that, A-Run. And this is where some of you guys can come in here and kind of tell me a little bit more about like Nunez. So A-Run's like, Nunez is 50-50 to start. So this is one of the reasons why in previous streams you guys haven't seen me showcase this. In years past, I have. So if this guy's 50-50 to start, we don't want this because we don't want to take this arb. Because here's what's going to happen. Especially if you load up on this arb. You're like, oh, dude, this is a crazy arb. I don't know. Let's try to get like $300 down and $100. Well, what's going to happen is Props Builder might refund you this if Nunez doesn't start. But then if he does start over on Desert Diamond or Bet Rivers, the bet might be valid. They might not refund you. Each sports book, guys, has different house rules when it comes to, especially like with baseball. Thank God that's over right now, so we don't have to worry about it. And soccer. FanDuel does this all the time. You bet on Shohei Ohtani to play in the game, and then he doesn't start that night, but then he gets, he's a pinch hitter in the 9th inning. Well, that counts if you bet is over, that counts. So be careful with this with soccer for sure. Over here in the EV tool. Oh, before we jump into arbitrage, before we jump in the EV tool, we talked about this last night. I highly, highly, highly implore you guys to use this tool that doesn't get used very often. The middles tool. The middles tool is incredible. Right here would be a great example, maybe between DraftKings and FanDuel, or this play between Georgia and Maryland Eastern Shore. This is a first half point spread, though. It's early in the morning. As we get closer to tip for these college basketball games, you will see a lot of middle opportunities. So if we take this play between FanDuel and DraftKings, right? Not a lot going on here. But let's say we want to really load up on this play. Let's say, I don't know, maybe we want to bet a crazy amount of money, okay? So let's say I bet $950 on DraftKings, and then I bet $250 on FanDuel, right? We are going to make, no matter what happens, probably around $3 in profit, okay? But If UC Davis wins this basketball game by 13 points exactly, you are going to win both bets. You are going to cash this play on DraftKings for like $250 a profit, and you will cash this play on FanDuel for what, $900? So it's a total payout of $1,200. So the middles tool, guys, is very low risk, very high reward. Think of it as your guaranteed lottery ticket. You're going to make some money no matter what happens, but you have a chance to win an incredible amount of money. Now, that's making sure that you go after plays that have a positive percentage. If the plays, I would recommend, guys, in your settings, to set this up to either 0 or just negative half percentage, okay? If you set this up to be a negative half percentage, so like on PrizePicks and Ballybet, Timberwolves and the Knicks, okay? If we load up on this play, there's $470 on PrizePicks, so we're like, yeah, we'll take this for $450. Or maybe we try to find a nice round number to match with Ballybet. Here we go. So we bet $455 on Ballybet. We bet $4 on PrizePicks. If this score lands anywhere but 230, 212, 217, 170, 500, whatever, we lose $3, maybe $4, okay? But if this score lands exactly on 230 points, we cash both bets. So look at it as you're wagering $3 and change to have a chance to win both bets. Very low risk, very high reward. I would implore you guys to take advantage of some middle bets. Set aside $5 or $10 and try to hit up some of these plays, even if they're negative, right? We want to go after the ones that are positive percentages, but even if you hit up the ones that are negative percentage, you're going to find some really awesome opportunities where you can day trade these books. You're not going to lose anything. Maybe you make a little bit of money, but you have a chance to win. And in this case, with this PrizePicks play, granted, there's only $37. If this play lands on 230 points, the bet gets refunded to you on Bet Rivers. You cash the over on PrizePicks. Highly, highly implore now that college basketball's here, guys. Check out the middles tool. Make sure you sprinkle in some middle tool plays. Don't be afraid to bet massive size on these plays, because if it's a positive percentage, you know you're going to make a couple dollars with a chance at a massive payout. Definitely worth checking out. Chi-Town. So the picks are going to be given out just to members. If they're public, it was just for the first day or the first day or two. But they're just going to be giving out just to members, right? For the giving out to the public at all, we might, I might definitely from time to time give, not the full card, but maybe I give like a half card. On like Black Friday, there could be something like maybe we give out the full card for free. I could definitely see once or twice, but the idea here, Chi-Town, is I'm not trying to give, because you locked in for so long, I'm not trying to give out my plays for free. It's going to be very rare, if that. I want to make sure that I reward the people that support me. And so we are going to keep these plays. If anything, we'll show the card from the day before like I did now, right? We showed the NBA player props. Went 5 of 6 on NBA player props yesterday. So that's where we would go ahead and kind of do that. But not looking to showcase it too often. So a couple of things here, guys. But it's a good question to ask. Good, definitely. So went through with the custom EV formula builder, right? And here's what we have. I have a little bit of a different formula for right now. We're looking at some different markets. Pinnacle, Circa, Bookmaker. We are looking at mainline markets. Player props are in here, but we're looking at mainline markets. I have college football, the NFL, the NBA. Probably need to mix in college hoops as well. And then the NHL. And then we also have some soccer leagues. And I'll grab one more soccer league just to make it. Can I do Champions League? Can we do that? That's the women's. Yeah, Champions League. Let's go Champions League today as well. And we'll come over the Sharp Money tool and wait for this to load. So, because I wanted to add one more league. But we'll have that cooking up here in just a second. All right, so what do we got here in the Sharp Money tool? So first and foremost, we'll look at some main market plays. Okay. And let's look at all the sports books. And let's see what we have going on. Leagues, I'm fine with setting them all up. Okay. So here is a fantastic example of the sharp money tool. How this is, without a doubt, in my opinion, a sharp professional bettor that is on this side. How many people do we know that are looking to bet $25,000 on Rutgers versus Rider college basketball? This person wants this at minus 105 odds. Now, to be fair, they want Rider at plus 20.5. To be fair, it's a little difficult to maybe get Rider at minus 105. You can get it on the Hard Rock. Every game's an offshore book. Jazz Sports, right? But I'd be willing to play this. You can get this at DraftKings at minus 108, which I don't mind at all. You can get this at plenty of other books at minus 110, which is a bit of a price difference. But again, this is where Pinnacle's taking $2,000. Right? Bookmaker, no sports book is taking $25K. This is, without a doubt, guys, a professional bettor on no vig that has an edge on basketball point spreads and has put out an insane amount of money on this play. This is insane. So I would be totally fine in this example betting this play at minus 110 odds. Go after any sports book that you can. DraftKings is great at minus 108. I might bet this at like maybe an offshore book or maybe a FanDuel. I'd bet this at FanDuel right now. Though I'm going to get limited on FanDuel for sure because I'm already limited, but they won't let me bet what I want to bet. So I might go over maybe to bet 105 because they have a little higher liquidity limit at minus 111. So this is, I very rarely have we seen this. You know, we've seen this before like on Kalshi, but like, you know, the odds are like such a crazy positive EV odds that's not like unattainable. So I'm going over to bet 105 and I'm going to get this at minus 111 odds. It's a slightly worse price, but I'm totally fine betting Rider at plus 20.5 points. Somebody really wants this play. So, it's a $1,000 max wager. I'm going to go in for a little bit higher. I'll go in for 150. I probably should go a little bit more, but still checking this out in the sharp money tool. It's still early in the year, but we get this over here on bet 105. Why do I go to bet 105, guys? Because I'm not trying to get limited betting a college basketball spread early in the morning. So I'm willing to eat slightly worse of a price here to get this play, right? I know that bet 105 is not going to limit me. If they do, it's not too much. And I could also probably went over to Bookmaker. Probably should have did that and get my action down. But that's a great play. Now, this play, Pelicans, Mavericks, $3,000 on Pinnacle. The combination of plays, somebody wants this at minus, 102. Somebody wants this at plus 100 odds. Somebody wants this at plus 101. The over on the Pelicans and the Mavs. We can bet this at ESPN Bet or Bally Bet. We could also bet this over here on FanDuel at minus 102. I'm just going to go over to FanDuel and bet this. I like this play. Pelicans, Mavs. And let's go. Now, no Zion. Now again, you know, we're hoping that Zion plays, right? He didn't play last night. So there's where your risk is being taken into equation is we don't know what's going on with the players yet. We can actually get this at 226 at minus 110. The over 226. But we'll get this at the minus 102 spot where everybody wants this at. So over 227 over on FanDuel. This is now at minus 110, unfortunately, on FanDuel. So this already moved, which kind of stinks. So let's try Bally Bet, which I am limited on Bally Bet. But again, they might let me wager a little bit down when it comes to these. Let's see. 4 weeks, Luis? Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Zion is, I forgot about that. Zion is out for 4 weeks. What do we got this at? 226.5. If we come down here, we do the little slider thing. Plus 100 odds. Can I bet 150? Probably not. 68.94. No problem. We'll take that for 68.94. Okay. So there it is. Bingo. Okay. What else do we have? That's pretty much, well, that's it for NBA. And I would say that's it for the moment in terms of high liquidity out here. Let's jump back over to the EV tool now. Looks like we don't see a ton, but New Mexico minus 21.5. DraftKings, this is really good to Pinnacle. It's very good. It's also good to Bookmaker. Yeah, nobody else is offering minus 110 odds. If this is real, grab this on DraftKings. But again, this is early in the morning, guys. So just, this game doesn't start for another like 12 hours, right? So it's going to take some time. So what we'll do next is, because this does take some time going through all of these, let's reset this up. And first and foremost, let's take a look at some mainline markets. Let's look at some NFL. And, well, I guess we'll start with today first. Let's start with today first. Let's look with some college. Let's look for NBA main markets, and then we'll look for some college. So we did that with the Sharp Money tool, but then we're going to go ahead and just use Pinnacle. We'll use Bookmaker, and we'll kind of see what's what. So we're going to go with a minus 200, and we're just going to rip through some different markets on some different leagues and make sure all the books are selected. What do we have? All right, so we talked about this. A lot of overs, right? EV overs. So if I bet the over 227.5, I could double dip and grab this again at 225.5 at minus 118, right? Which looks like they just moved. Yeah, Ballybet realized that we got a really good price. Yeah, it all changed. All changed. So we got some good value there, because now when I go over to Ballybet, 227.5 is now at minus 112. We got that at plus 100 odds. 12 cents of closing line value, guys. That's what we want. Chi-Town, Liquidity isn't on no vig anymore. Yeah, that's... We'll have to see how that one goes, because I really liked it. And I doubt that anyone up here would, that... I don't think... And by the way, guys, the liquidity not being on no vig, either someone took it or someone took it down. But obviously, you have to have $25,000 in order to put it up. Unless someone's diabolical and knows when my streams are and decided to put up 25 grand, which I highly doubt. But unless someone took it, unless someone took the whole thing. I need a personal preference in the Sharp Money. Do you select all books, even the ones you don't have, so you can see all the Sharp Money plays, the ones you like? Yeah, Nito, I definitely do. You want to select all the books. So for those of you that are on the Sharp Money tool that are looking at your sports books and you're like, bro, like I'm so limited on Fanatics. Why would I select them? Well, because if there's a sharp play on Fanatics and you might be able to get a slightly less, worse of a price, but by a couple cents, then it's still really, really worth it, right? So when I come over here, if you're like, Billy, I'm so limited on Ballybet, why would I want to check this out? Well, because you might be able to secure this price at another book a few cents off. That would be the biggest reason why. So definitely select all your books. So that you can see and just quickly, click through them and say, okay. And, with me, guys, the first thing I look for is where the Sharp Money at compared to Pinnacle's limits, right? That's definitely what I first and foremost look for. So $1,100 here on the Thunder and the Trailblazers. No VIG, minus 108 odds. This is almost a low hold to Pinnacle. If it was at minus 107, it'd be a complete low hold. So I definitely like this. Pinnacle's taking $3 grand. Even though there's $1,100 on no vig, I don't mind that at all. Don't mind it. Might want to check. I might check that out maybe on 4CX. Kalshi, Cavs, $21 out there in the Cavs. I'll let you guys, if anyone has Kalshi, go ahead and bet that. Thunder at minus 2.5. Again, looks really good to Pinnacle. Looking to see if I can find another ESPN play. Rockets at minus 5.5. Yeah, so let's run a little two-leg parlay here. Rockets minus 5.5 and Thunder minus 2.5. And I'm going to head over to ESPN Bet. We're going to rock a little parlay here. Little two-leg parlay. see what we have going on here. So these are some juicier lines, but a little two-leg parlay. So we're looking at the Rockets, -5.5, taking on the Grizzlies. And this is going to be an alternate spread. Again, it's a low EV edge play, guys, but because this is like mainline markets, especially in the NBA, I'm very interested. And then let's go over here. And then if we want to, once we add these two plays to our parlay, right, we want to figure out what the optimal bet size is. So we want to open a calculator, and we want to say, okay, listen, let's look 0.588, and then we'll come down to this. We could do the Thunder there. Whoa. Too low. Sorry about that. 0.588 multiplied by 0.593. So we have a 34.87% chance. So 34.87. And we're using quarter Kelly. And then when I throw this play up over here, make sure I'm getting the correct odds that OddsJam's telling me I should be getting. And we're looking at what? -2.5. Bingo. So we're receiving odds of +194. And when I add this to my slip, it tells me, yo, you should be getting odds of +194. And I am. So I come up, I say, okay, I get 194. They're like, well, this is actually a 2.5% edge. You should just put $48 on this. So that's what I'm going to do over here on ESPN Bet. I'm just going to round up. And I'm going to play this for $50. So I got a little two-leg parlay for $50. And there we go. If I come back and see if we can get this again. There we go. Two-leg parlay on ESPN Bet. Rockets -5.5. Thunder -2.5. But I'm making sure that I'm betting this appropriate to my edge, right? The edge that I have, I'm not putting $100. Maybe I could have put a little bit more on it because it was mainline markets. But I'm all right with $50, right? We add that to the parlay, and there we go. Let's go and see if we have anything else for the NBA. Cavs -9.5 tonight against the Sixers. Yeah, this is 1 cent off to being really good. So again, over here on Caesars, I'm just going to log in and I'll place this one right now on the Cavs. Now, immediately, guys, because this is a main line spread with Caesars, I'm willing to bet a little bit more. Just like I should have bet probably $75 to $100 maybe on that parlay. But I'm willing to bet a little bit more when it comes to the NBA. So -9.5. And I'll go in for this. I'm going to go in for a 150 spot over here on Caesars. Okay. And as you guys always know, put my money where my mouth is. Cavs -9.5, Caesars, 150. We're in. Good to go. So, there it is. Since I'm on Caesars over here, any promos? Thursday night boost we want to opt into. Mystery profit boost. Parlay boost over here on the NHL. Caesars kind of let me down a little bit, but we'll see. All right, so let's take a look now at some college hoops. And let's jump over here. We're going to stick to some main markets, guys. And again, the morning streams are very focused on main markets. Tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, we're going to be looking through some player props. Hate the new display, Irish? Appreciate that. Let them know. For Zion out for 1 week, not 4 weeks, Chi-Town. Appreciate that. Obviously, you can tell I'm not up on the Zion injury news at the moment, but appreciate that. LaSalle, Coppin State. Yes, $77 on Profit X. Arb to Pinnacle. Very good compared to Bookmaker. Grab LaSalle. Rush. If you guys have Profit X, run over right now to grab LaSalle, Coppin State, over 143. And the over 143.5, similarly. There's $1,100 here, which that's a little bit more, right? Obviously, hitting the over 143 is easier than 143.5, but on Novig, there's $1,100, which is more than what Pinnacle's taking, and it could be a little bit more than what Bookmaker is taking at the time. A lot of LaSalle stuff. For those of you that still have thrills that aren't limited, if I believe not, I think Chi-Town, you might be limited. I know a couple of people, OGs or DJs, are definitely limited. There we go. But this is, yeah, Thrills doesn't have the inside scoop here. So grab that as well. Oh, Fliff. Not quite as good as Thrills, but minus 16.5. This is an ARB to Pinnacle. LaSalle minus 16.5 over on Fliff. Check that one out. That looks really good. If we're looking at Delaware State, obviously Circa. Circa's a sharp book. And this is where we can kind of look at, say, okay, well, like, has one book moved or not? And here there isn't much. Circa set their odds. Pinnacle's moved up. You know, we're talking Circa and one of the goats of like the sharp sports books. So play this at your own risk. Definitely play at your own risk. But they have this over under at 141.5, which Pinnacle thinks this should be at minus 142. But again, guys, when you're looking at these sharps, this is where I would just say, like, where's Bookmaker? Oh, they're at 142. BetOnline's at 142. Pinnacle's at 142. So Circa might just have the bar set a little bit too low, right? Might just be a little bit too low. For some of you, I know that Circa is now available in certain states, so you can check that out. This Fresno State play, now, this is the opposite, right? Like, this is kind of like that play we saw above with no vig. Like, $1,600 is a lot of money. And so this could be something here in terms of a sharp money tool type of play that you want to bet, you know, someone's offering a lot of money here. Maybe you want to be on the South Carolina upstate side. This might be one that maybe I stay away from. But then, like, it's hard for me to say that because, like, bro, like, they're offering, this person wants this at minus 114, which is the same side as Fanatics. And I've never once in my life thought to myself, Fanatics is, like, really sharp. Never really occurred to me ever. So if you want to, guys, totally fine with just walking away from this play. Don't touch it and just move on to something else. Again, with so many options this time of the year, don't force a play to force a play. There's a lot of other choices that you can have. If it's a tough puzzle to solve, don't try to solve it. Just go over to the easier puzzle. If we're looking at Georgia and Maryland Eastern Shore, that looked really good. I kind of wanted to hit up Onyx there for a second. Here's the Rutgers play that we talked about earlier. So now there's still now $4,500. Somebody wants this at minus 113, guys. So while we saw earlier in the stream there was 25,000, there's still 4,500 being available for you to wager this. Someone wants this at minus 111 odds. They want Ryder plus 20.5. So while the liquidity shrunk a lot, 4,500 is twice the amount of money that Pinnacle's taking. So I'd still am more than fine grabbing Ryder at FanDuel, Caesars, or Hard Rock. Totally fine grabbing that play. What else do we got? Temple minus 17.5. Yeah, that just moved to minus 115. The over in the Fresno State game, we were talking about this earlier. Where was the Fresno? We were talking about the spread, so I'm fine with this. So this is very good to FanDuel. And it's 25 cents off to Pinnacle. If we're looking at the 164.5, you could see Bookmaker and Circa have this at 165. BetOnline doesn't see as much of a favorite. Bookmaker does. Circa's neutral, but they're at 165. So I lean the fact that Pinnacle and Bookmaker, like FanDuel's just off here, guys. I would love to bet this over on Fresno State. Now, when it comes to college basketball, as I mentioned this last week on the stream, there is a 50% profit boost. What's the max wager size? 132? We'll go 130. You're going to see some wider distributions with spreads and with totals with college basketball. It's kind of like the WNBA, but it's not as crazy as the WNBA. But, you know, these two teams could combine to score 150. Or they might hit the over, right? But we're on that over 164. 2% edge, but I like this compared to a lot of other sharp books. So I wagered my max on FanDuel, a little bit above the recommended bet size, which I'm fine. LSU and Tarleton State, we're dipping a little bit below where we want to be. But again, Bookmaker and Pinnacle are both here. At Caesars, this looks very good at 148. I could get behind that one for sure. Okay. Let's jump over. Let's take a look at some NHL main markets. We're jumping around, taking a look at some different things. Main markets today, Leafs. I would not look to bet the Leafs. obviously someone on PrizePicks has $8,200. They want the Leafs at plus 137. Pinnacle's taking 5K on this, like a sharp money play. So this is how we can kind of differentiate. From a positive EV standpoint, I don't want to take the Leafs, right, at minus 137. I do want to take the Mammoth. And someone really wants the Mammoth at plus 137, so I misspoke. Someone wants the Mammoth at plus 137 odds. I could probably get this at plus 134 odds over at Bet 105, which I would love. Someone wants this at $8,000 they're willing to put up, and they want the Mammoth. So I'm going to head over here to Bet 105, and I'm just going to smash this play right now. Plus 134 odds. I'm totally fine going the opposite. So while this isn't a plus EV play, this is a sharp money play. If we believe that a sharp better on PrizePicks with this much money, this is over what Pinnacle's taking. I'm totally fine with maybe betting, $125, $100 and taking the Mammoth on the money line. So there we go. So I'm going to throw this in on Bet 105. They are a Pinnacle skin, guys. They copy Pinnacle's odds. So, while I can't bet on Pinnacle here in America, I can over there. So that's why you just want to kind of check some of these plays out to see what's what. Blue Jackets on the money line over at Bet Openly. Yeah, I don't mind the Blue Jackets at all. Again, you start to see the exchanges. Nothing crazy. 1,000, 2,000, but Pinnacle's taking 5K. Plus 108 odds. I can get in with that over at Bet Openly. So if you guys want to, go over to Bet Openly. Even though it's a low percentage play, I definitely like it. Yeah, I got limited to $1. Dude, congrats to you, man. Yeah, Jordan. Jordan's asking about rollover requirements. So back in the day, if you would have met me in 2021 or 2022, I'd be like, bro, these offshore books are handing out all these bonus money. Like, this is incredible. Now I don't take it. I don't really take it. Or if I do take it, I take it at, like for $100 of bonus money or $50. If I do take it, it's a very small amount so that the rollover is not too large. Case in point, Betmania is an offshore book that is the last book that I have a rollover with. And I still got roughly 9,000 to 10,000 that I have to work through the rollover. And I've had the book for like 10 months. So don't let your eyes get bigger than your stomach. One thing that books like Bovada, MyBookie, XBet, BUSR, they try to rope you in with these really good bonuses. And those are books that can limit you. My Bet Online, my bookmaker accounts, my Bet 105s, I've been using bookmaker and Bet Online I've been using for 4 years now, not limited. When it comes to, though, the Bovadas and my bookies, they will limit you. And so if you take a really big bonus, or what happens a lot with Bovada, you take their bonus, you work through their rollover, and then right when you work through their rollover, they send you another like VIP, massive rollover, but a massive bonus. And then like 3 days into accepting it, they limit you to like $25, and then you're screwed. So my advice would be don't take it. Don't take it at all. Don't mess around with it. Let's look at some NFL. And let's look at the next 7 days. NFL main markets, guys. Yeah, look, I thought we did look at some NBA main markets earlier. We bet the over on the Pelicans game. We'll look at it once more before we wrap up. We're gonna look at some football, and then we'll kind of come back to look at that. So how do we know who it is? How do we know if it's a rich guy? I don't know if it's a rich guy or if it's a professional bettor. Right on Kalshi, you can kind of see the leaderboards out there, but I don't know. It's a great question. But I will say that I'm willing to bet that someone that's putting up, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000 on one side, especially this early in the morning. If someone's putting up massive liquidity this early in the morning, guys, there's a very high chance they're a professional sports bettor, because this is when professional sports bettors get their action down, right? So if it's maybe closer to tip, you could say maybe it's just a rich guy who's bored. But, this is when professional bettors are looking at the markets and getting their money down, is early in the weeks for football, early in the mornings for basketball and hockey. These are all just telltale signs that these are professional bettors. Pinnacle moved from plus 110 to minus 137 on the LaSalle spread. So we were showcasing that earlier, right? And I'll have to go back and watch the stream after this. But yeah, professional bettors shape the market. Hands down, they shape the market. So for the NFL, it's a good question, guys. I understand where you're coming from. Speaking of the NFL, a bet that we placed on Monday. We placed this bet on Monday. Let me go over to my tracker. So on Monday, we placed this bet for Monday Night Football. Right here. Monday Night, Billy. We bet 150 on the Packers money line, minus 130 on FanDuel. So if I come over here now and I'm looking at where's the Packers money line, because I always like to take a little peek, right? Where's that Packers money line sitting at? It's actually gotten worse. It's at minus 134. You can get a great price on No Vig for $10 and Profit X. A lot of the books, though, have this, though. We got a good price. If you can't get this at Profit X or No Vig, then honestly, it's a small movement there. I can get in on it. No doubt about that, right? And like we talked about before, guys, if you're looking at Kalshi or Polymarket and you go, oh my God, Billy, somebody put up $172,000 for you to bet the Eagles. Well, remember, that means they want the Packers at minus 113 odds. And looking at all the sports books, can you get minus 113? No. It's a very EV bet. So if anyone gets this order filled on Kalshi at plus for minus 113 on the Packers, they're very happy because it's very EV. And on the flip side, right, they're literally just creating arbitrage plays out there. If anyone takes the Eagles at plus 137 odds, because they're offering $88,000 for you to bet the Eagles, right? They're like, hey, bet the Packers at minus 137. They're going to get the Eagles at plus 137 odds. Can you get the Eagles at plus 137 on any of these books? No, you can't. So remember, guys, on Kalshi, a lot of bettors just put out massive amounts of money, but the prices are way off. So don't look at this as like, yo, I got to bet the Packers because this dude put up $172,000. No, dude, he wants it at an incredible price. He's probably not going to get his order filled unless things change. So just pay attention to that. So when we're over here on the EV tool and we're looking at certain plays, we got the over, we got the under. Let's take a look at this. Packers, Monday Night Football. The over, 44.5. Okay? It's way off the Pinnacle. It's 11 cents off the bookmaker. Now, Circa's a sharp book. But when we take a look at this, Pinnacle just moved. Pinnacle moved like 4 or 5 hours ago, right? And I know this game's not until next Monday. But this is where you can get a great price. So I'm going to go ahead and go in on this, over 44.5. Now, I'm going to bet more than $100 because it's the NFL and it's a mainline market. So even though I'm limited on my FanDuel, I don't care. Let's grab this and let's go in for, what's the max wager? Max wager is $2,700, right? Even on my limited FanDuel account, this is a really good play. So we'll go in for a 200 spot. By the way, FanDuel balance is looking pretty decent right now. Not going to lie. FanDuel balance is up after that bet. It was almost $2,500. So really, really good. Steven, sure. So Steve asked, explain to why to take the opposite of high liquidity like I'm a 6-year-old. Okay. So let's break this down. So on the sharp money tool or on a high liquidity tool, let me just put this in my bet tracker. And then obviously, guys, we're probably going to go for another maybe 10, 15 minutes if you guys can deal with this. So let's see. 200. Okay. So on the sharp money tool, right? We're talking about using the sharp money tool and why we love the sharp money tool. And so if we look at some player props can be a very good indicator. Okay. So Philippe Kurashev. I don't know this dude. Philippe Kurashev, however you say this dude's name. We're looking at the Sharks and we're looking at the Kraken. And as you can see over here on ProfitX and Novig, someone's put up $1,700. And they want his under, and they want it at plus 110 odds. So let's break this down once. Okay. Made a video on this on OddsJam, dropped it on Friday. It goes over this example. Somebody is offering you to bet $1,700. And you're like, dude, we're getting a really good price at minus 110 on the over. This looks really good. This looks really, really good. But what you have to understand is that Pinnacle's only taking $250 as their max wager size. Someone has put up what? 7 times that amount on this side. And so on these exchanges like Novig and ProfitX, there's no limits. You can bet whatever you want. You can bet $100,000. You can bet $1 billion. Doesn't matter. They don't care. So this person put up much higher amount than what Pinnacle is accepting. If we think that Pinnacle is really sharp, well, then someone just put up 7 times that. And someone is way more confident in their lines. So if I go over to FanDuel and I look at player shots on goal, and I come down here and I'm looking at wherever this Philippe Kurashev guy is, and I want to bet his under at plus 108 odds. What's the max wager size? FanDuel is the largest sports book in America. No other sports book in America has a hold on the market share like FanDuel. They're accepting $185 on my account right now. Log off on your FanDuel, go over this Kurashev plate, type in $1 million, and you'll see what FanDuel's taking on a not limited account. So I can only bet 185 here. I can only bet 250 on Pinnacle. So the idea is that if somebody is putting up this crazy amount of money, then this is most likely a sharp sports bettor that is using a model that loves to bet NHL shots on goal, has a really good ROI. We want to follow this person. And in this case, this would be that you have belief in the sharp money tool because we can only bet this. We can get this at plus 110. We can get it at plus 108, right? We can get this on the 108 side. So that's where I'm going to go ahead and do this. And I'm going to go ahead and bet this for a 150 spot. So we're going to follow Kurashev here because I believe that there's a sharp bettor that wants this. So that's why we follow the sharp money tool. And it's okay if I don't get it at plus 108. If I get it at plus 110, if I get it at plus 108, plus 105, within 5 cents or so, guys, I have a lot of confidence in this play. The reason that I'm not going over and betting this on ESPN Bet is because, like I mentioned before, even though I'm limited on FanDuel, I can still wager a decent amount of money. I don't want to burn through my account on ESPN Bet placing a bet when I know, like, once I lose my ESPN Bet account, it's gone forever. FanDuel is literally going to be my best friend for life because I'm going to be able to bet them quite a bit. So there we go. That's kind of why we want the Kurashev play. That's kind of how it's explained. So when we're on this EV tool, that's how we want to use it with sharp money, right? And that's how you can kind of take a look at other plays and other books. 2K on FanDuel, Rams Niners under 50.5, minus 130 on Pinnacle. I mean, FanDuel has the same odds as Hard Rock, guys. Another telltale sign that, like, yo, this is a play that we definitely want to grab. All freaking day long. So Niners, Rams. I would love to go in for like a 250 spot here and say thank you and just grab that. Under 50.5 Niners and the Rams. Let's go. Again, whenever it's FanDuel, I'm always happy betting this over there because of my limits. Daniel, what's going on, man? What's going on? Yes, Steve. I mean, basically the sharp. So the sharp wants to sell you Davion Mitchell over 9.5 points at plus 115 odds. That means the sharp wants Davion Mitchell's under at minus 115 odds. So the sharp is more than happy to sell this to you. And what you guys have to understand is these, and maybe you guys do, but these guys have their own models. Okay, they have their own player prop models that these sharps know. Listen, man, I can make 8% ROI betting NBA player props. So the model's telling if this is a sharp bettor that put up $1,200, the model is telling this bettor, yo, listen, dude, bet this play from minus, you could bet this from minus 115 all the way up to maybe minus, you can bet it from like minus 120 down to like whatever. So if he can get this at minus 115, he's extremely happy. When he looks at the rest of the market and he's like, yo, all these books are at like minus 130, minus 105. I can get this at minus 115. Like, I'm really, really happy, right? Or maybe the model's like, listen, play this to minus 115, right? Anything above minus 115, isn't very good. Well, then he's very happy. So they want you to bet this. And because they can bet whatever they want, and probably because they're very limited on DraftKings and MGM, like you guys know they're limited on these accounts with player props. This is where player props with the sharp money tool, I think, is such a great telltale sign. No, Chi-Town, no. They have, let me try it again. These professional bettors have a model that tells them bet Davion Mitchell at under 9.5 player points at this price. You have a range that you can bet this to, right? And they know they're not worried about the sharp books. Their model tells them bet this, and this. Bottom-up sports bettors do not look at where Pinnacle is and where Circa is and where Bookmaker is. Professional sports bettors just know they can beat the sharpest of sharp books. So they don't evaluate the market at all. They have a model. They run the model. The model tells them to bet these plays at these prices. So they put up plays on these exchanges because there's no limits. They can bet whatever they want. And so they put up this liquidity knowing that they are going to get their order filled because it's within the range that the model tells them to bet it within. And they know that compared to the rest of the market right now, they can get their order filled immediately because it's a very good price. So that's how it works with professional bettors. They don't, what we're doing here, guys, with top-down betting, and we're looking at where's Pinnacle at, where Bookmaker is. Professional bettors don't do that. They'll take a look maybe to see where it is, but they trust that their own models that they created or they've hired someone to create is very sharp, very, very good. And so they don't concern themselves with taking a look at the market at all. They know that they're making a 5% return off their investment betting NFL total points, and their model tells them, listen, bet this Rams play between minus 115 to minus 130. And then they just simply go into the market and try to get as much money down as they possibly can across all the various sports books within that odds range. That's how professional bettors operate. Hopefully it helps. And obviously we have another conversation, guys. On live, it might not be the best explanation, the best breakdown, but that's really how it goes. Where they don't really look at, where's Hard Rock at and where's everyone else at? They're just like, yo, bet this is. So the best example that I can give you of a bottom-up approach is the Edge Zone Discord. So the Edge Zone Discord and their matrix. So Irish knows about this as well. We're basically, if we go into their NHL, let's look at like one of their NFL plays. Okay. So here's an example from a game that they gave a play out, right? This is Torrey Horton. Okay, Torrey Horton under 31.5 receiving yards. They're telling you that their model here is telling you, yo, the fair value is minus 170. So play this play play Torrey Horton under 31.5 receiving yards between minus 112 to minus 150. If you can get your money down between minus 112 to minus 150, you're in a great spot, okay? So then all we would look to do, and they're telling you, yo, here's where you want to bet your unit comfortably to do this, right? This is what they're telling you what to do. So then you come over here and you're like, all right, let's look at Torrey Horton. So let's go to the Seahawks game, right? And they're playing the Cardinals. Let's take a look. And then let's go to receiving yards. And right, this might be a little too early. This might be from the Monday Night Football game. So I might be a little early. Yeah, this is from the Monday Night Football game. But you're looking at the market and you're saying, okay, where can we get this play at between minus 112 to minus 150? Right? They don't care what sports books. that they're betting this at. They can just get this wherever. So that's how these work with sharp money, is when, and especially with this Discord, if you're looking at the NHL plays, this first play today, Holloway, St. Louis, play this between minus 154 and like minus 185. They give you a range. The fair value is minus 214. So you can go over here and bet the over 1.5 shots on goal, and you can bet this wherever. So if I know it's between minus 154 to minus 185 for Holloway on his shots on goal, then I simply just come over here to the Blues. Today's the 5th. Yeah. And I just go to player shots on goal, and we come to Holloway, and I say, where can I get this down at? The model's telling me I could bet this anywhere between minus 154 to minus 185. Okay, well, I can bet this on ESPN Bet. I could bet this on all the books. I could bet this on FanDuel, No Vig, DraftKings, ESPN Bet, every single book, guys. I could bet this play. But naturally, where do I want to get this down at? Well, most likely ESPN Bet, right? But if I want to be able to get this action down without being limited, maybe I skip ESPN Bet. Maybe I take this over to FanDuel, or in this case, I'll bet this over a props builder, right? Slightly worse price, but the model says it's good between minus 154 to minus 185, right? We're not looking at like, well, what's Pinnacle taking and what they're looking at. The model doesn't care. The model spits out winners and just tells you to bet to a certain price. So that's what's going on in the sharp money tool, as these guys, these pro bettors are saying, yo, the model's telling them to bet this to a certain range. They're just getting down their action and then hoping to get their order filled. Exactly. Yeah. It looks good. So what they're doing is it looks good to D-Gens. What these professional bettors are doing is this looks really good to D-Gens, but I'm also happy on the side that I'm getting my order filled at. That's how it works. You're happy with the side that you're getting your order filled at, and you know you're going to get your order filled because all the D-Gens will bet into this because it seems to be a decent price. And that's the idea. So I'm literally logging into Props Builder right now to go bet Dylan Holloway over 1.5 shots on goal. All right, guys, that's the stream for this morning. We'll be back on tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern. Any more questions, guys? I know sharp money can be difficult. Sometimes I don't always give the best explanation, but don't be afraid to email me, DM me, and we can kind of go through that example a few times. Otherwise, guys, I'll talk to you guys tonight. Check out Dub Club. I'm going to be dropping the plays here in a little bit. Enjoy the morning. We'll talk soon. Peace.